Welcome to the Week 6 edition of the Chop and Birds Weekly NFL Podcast. This is your co-host, Pork Chop, flying solo again this week. Chris is doing personal stuff, so I will be here, and Chris will hopefully be back next week. So let's go ahead and just right off the bat, just tell you guys what we're going to talk about today. Topics include last week's picks, Jon Gruden, which is something that we really need to talk about. The update on our divisional picks and the Super Bowl picks. Technically, we're like in the second quarter of the season. Don't panic. Panic, obviously. What the fuck happened? Fantasy player pickup of the week. Talk about the Titans, talk about the Cowboys, and of course the Week 6 picks. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at these picks and the results from last week. Chris... Let me see here. My wife just took over and got 12 picks, right? So she went 12. Michael and I both tied for 11, and Chris was last week with 10 wins last week with his picks. So right now the updated standings are 52 for Michael, 52 for me, 50 for Chris, and 49 for Jocelyn. So Michael and I are just like in a little bit of an arms race. It's kind of funny, but you know what? It's fine. It's totally fine. So I'm just glad to talk about stuff for this week. So Michael, hopefully one of us will win that arm race. I really don't know. This ain't a scene. It's a goddamn arms race, I've been told. So there you go. Chris did, however, send me some notes that I kind of skimmed over. But the biggest thing that we wanted to talk about was Jon Gruden. For those of you that don't know, the former now coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, Jon Gruden, was fired, or actually he resigned this week, quote unquote, resigned this week. They were doing an investigation with the Washington football team, and emails came up where Jon Gruden was using racial slurs and sexism and just calling people the F word and the P word and stuff like that. You know, words that, 5 years ago I probably would have said on this podcast, but you know what? We live in a different time. You need to adapt. Jon Gruden said he never meant to hurt anybody, but you know what? Words sometimes have just as much of an impact than physical, altercations. So the biggest one was he was upset about Michael Sam being an openly gay NFL player in the league. He did not want a gay football player in the league. He was pissed because female referees were on the rise, and now there's actually a couple of them, I believe, that are actually like not full time, but you know what, that they actually like do it for a living in the NFL, female referees, and was really pissed about the kneeling for the national anthem and kind of made that a race thing. And, just overall, just things that you shouldn't be saying in a work email. Maybe if it was your personal email between a friend and yourself, honestly, we've all said stuff, unfortunately, that is very regrettable, negligible, and just downright ignorant. I think we've all been there a time or two. But regardless, I'm not going to get on my soapbox. So Jon Gruden is out as the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. My biggest thing, I actually was listening to a podcast earlier, the NFL Locked On podcast, and they said that one of them, I can't remember which one it was, they have different co-hosts every fucking day on that podcast for the NFL podcast. And they said that they wouldn't be surprised if Doug Peterson emerged as the front runner for the head coaching job for the Las Vegas Raiders. Excuse me, I burped a little bit, and I didn't want to do it in the microphone. And so maybe I could see Peterson, or maybe somebody that they can promote within or what have you. But regardless, this is going to be a huge blow to the Las Vegas Raiders for sure. And Chris's sentiment was, Gruden done messed up. Like, honestly, think what you want, but keep it to yourself. As Ashley, his sister, said in the group chat, if you can't say anything nice, don't say it. It kind of reminded me of the Eminem lyric. If you ain't, God damn it, you little motherfucker, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing. It's like, okay. And I actually I agree with what Chris said, and I hope that you guys also agree. If not, that's okay. That's your opinion. We all have them, just like assholes. So next thing is we're going to update our divisional picks. Let's see if we changed any of them. So Chris did this totally freaking backwards. I greatly appreciate it. We're both sticking with Cleveland to win the division. Both sticking with Tennessee, even though that one's kind of turning into kind of a shit show as a division. Buffalo to still win the East and the AFC. And he actually has the Los Angeles Chargers winning it. And you know what? I'm going to switch back, and I'm going to say also the Los Angeles Chargers. So I'm going to go ahead and lock that in because the Kansas City Chiefs, man, wow. But we'll get to that later. NFC North, Green Bay. I still have Green Bay winning it, honestly. NFC South, we both have TB12, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tom Brady's Buccaneers TB. We both have that. That hasn't changed. The West, however, we're both going to change ours. Both of us are going to change it to Arizona because they are undefeated. They're the last undefeated team in the league. And in all honesty, I wouldn't be surprised at all. And the NFC East, we still have Dallas, which Dallas is still winning. So for the most part, Chris and I picked, -1 on my end, and actually 2 on my end and 1 on Chris's end. It's looking like that's what it's going to be as of right now. It looks like that we're going to have the exact same amount of teams that we picked. And he has Seattle, Los Angeles, New Orleans, and San Francisco as the wild cards for the NFC and the AFC. Wild card he had for the AFC is Baltimore, Kansas City, and Las Vegas. I don't even think Las Vegas gets a wild card. I don't know. Maybe they can rise up and they can do what they need to do and stay tough in that division. That division's hard. Just like the division with the West. The NFC West is just, wow. It is nuts. But, I kind of feel the same. I think Baltimore has a big chance of winning the wild card. Kansas City, I wouldn't count them out just yet, but it wouldn't surprise me. In the NFC, he has Seattle, which I don't know. Once, because Russ went down, he's out for at least 6 weeks. So if he is down, I don't really see Seattle winning with their quarterback. Geno. I don't see them winning with Geno Smith at all. Maybe like 1-2 games, maybe. But other than that, they might be toast. Definitely the Rams. I could see them getting a wild card. They're so good in that division, right along with Arizona. But the Rams, I could definitely see that. New Orleans, I don't know. They're kind of touch and go. They're kind of waffling. So I don't know which New Orleans Saints we're going to have at the end of the season. And then he has the Niners getting the wild card. It actually wouldn't surprise me if that happens either, especially if they keep using Lance at that position. And Chris is actually changing his Super Bowl picks. He originally had Green Bay versus Buffalo, and now Chris is saying Las Vegas versus Las Vegas in LA because why the hell not? So Chris's new one is, I'm just going to go ahead and lock it in for him. LA versus LA. Okay, so there's that. And mine, I had Tampa Bay and Kansas City. I don't think Kansas City might make it. My dream Super Bowl here, I'm going to go ahead and lock it in. I'm going to say Dallas versus Buffalo. We can have a little bit of a history repeating itself in the NFL when the Cowboys and the Buffalo Bills were both great. They both went to the Super Bowl, and the Cowboys beat them twice. Maybe this could be something where history repeats itself, and Dallas and Buffalo can each find a way. So right now, fingers crossed for the Buffalo Bills and the Dallas Cowboys to make it to the Super Bowl. That would be great. Okay, so now this segment is panic. Okay, so the team that I think should really be panicking. Don't panic! Don't panic! the Kansas City Chiefs. That defense alone, in all honesty, I just don't know how that isn't a team that needs to be worried about. That is not a thing that needs to be looked upon, because that defense is surrendering a lot of points, a lot of yardage, and they're just not that great. Kansas City, I think, needs to panic. Chris didn't give me a team that needs to panic, but he gave me his. Let me see here. Oh, he gave me his what the fuck happened. And so I guess I'll get to that here in a bit. But so that's panic. The team that I think that doesn't need to panic.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
Wait.
Everybody just calm down.
Because the one I was going to pick for panic was the Seattle Seahawks, but once their quarterback kind of went down, I was like, maybe they should have panicked, the second that it happened. So there we go. Don't panic. And I don't know, the Detroit Lions, guys. I know I keep talking about Detroit, but Detroit is that they're giving Campbell everything they got, and they've lost 2 games now with last-second field goals, and that just breaks your heart. It broke my heart when I heard them and saw the Vikings come back and win that game. It's just like something's got to give. Campbell was freaking out. Campbell was tearing up a bit in his interviews and stuff like that. So it's hard, guys. But the Detroit Lions, I think, might actually have a bright future if they can get some pieces in that organization. So Detroit, don't panic. Keep your head up, baby girl. And
What the fuck happened?
so I kind of gave you a little bit of a preview of what the fuck happened. So Chris says, what the fuck happened or is happening to the Chiefs? They aren't good, and teams are figuring them out, which they are. Last week, I think Mahomes had 2 interceptions. Buffalo, kept it close the first half, but the second half, they just ran away with it. Like, even I kind of stopped watching in the second half because I was like, okay, yeah, Buffalo's got this. They got this on lock. But, yeah, that's my what the fuck happened as well. The Chiefs are just wow. So congratulations, Chiefs. You made panic and what the fuck happened all in the same time. The fantasy player that Chris is telling you to pick up is Booker, the running back for the Giants. He said just temporary, as Saquon will be back in 2 to 3 weeks. I'm also going to pick a player on the Giants, and that's Kadarius Toney, wide receiver. With Slayton and a couple of other pieces out, Kadarius Toney might be that guy. He put on a clinic against the Cowboys and then got ejected for punching a guy. How the fuck are you going to punch a guy with a helmet on the helmet? Like when Andre Johnson and, what's his name? Looks like Richard Simmons. I forgot his name. Whatever. Courtney. When Andre Johnson and Courtney went at it, they punched each other, and I think one of them had a helmet on, the other one didn't, and it was just ridiculous. And just seeing players punch other players in the helmet, sometimes I kind of wish they would break a wrist or break a finger or break their hand, because that is, first of all, that's stupidity at its finest. You don't punch a fucking helmet. That's just me. But Kadarius Toney, go pick him up. Go for it. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you go pick him up? All right, so here we're going to talk about Chris's Titans. So Chris told me, will Derrick Henry break the single-season rushing record? Will he be the first person to rush for 2K yards twice? Will he be the first back-to-back-to-back rushing leader? Is he already a Hall of Famer? For those of you who don't know, he's leading the league with 640 yards already and averaging 4.5 yards per carry, on pace for 2,176 yards. King Henry, everybody, crown him. King Henry, he's a badass. Let's just face facts. King Henry, you got him in fantasy. You're probably happy. You're probably licking your chops. You're probably just like having the evil laugh, snickering, like, because in all honesty, this guy dropped in a lot of leagues, and I had the ability to pick him, but I decided not to. I decided to go with somebody else. I actually went with Kamara, which, kind of regretting that. But Henry, just year after year, just shows that he can do what he needs to do, and that is run the football and do it well and do it in chunks of yardage. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the Cowboys. How about them Cowboys, y'all? Winning last week against the Giants. It wasn't even close. I think we had that game almost through its entirety. Dak looked great, minus that one little interception that Patrick Mahomes kind of had the exact same interception happen to him on Sunday Night Football. And it just was crazy, just absolutely crazy to see once again the two-headed monster in Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard just putting on a clinic. Stephon Diggs got another interception, which something just came across my phone earlier. It was that Diggs he might be questionable because he has something's hurt with him. It disappeared. It's not on my phone anymore, but he's questionable. Hopefully he can go. He's on a record-setting pace, and I hope and pray that the thing that they were talking about, kind of like they kind of rumored that was going to happen, happens, and that is the Deion Sanders 2.0 might be coming to Dallas with Stephon Diggs. Travion Diggs. Trevon Diggs. Jesus Christ. The guy is possessed. The guy has an interception every single game. He had 2 in one game, and I don't see why he couldn't get that again this week. But speaking of which, let's go ahead and get into these picks. Chris already sent me his picks in advance. This is the first time I'm looking at them, so let's just go for it. So I wish he was here, but Chris, in spirit, I'm asking you, and I hope you can feel it all the way from my house to your apartment. Who you got? So Thursday night, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Philadelphia Eagles. No brainer. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Chris is also picking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Miami Dolphins at the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is where Chris and I are going to split. I'm picking the Dolphins. He's picking the Jags? Question mark? So that's the 8:30 game in London. It shouldn't really be at the Jags, but it's in London. It's at 8:30 in the morning. So you have 2 Florida teams going to London. That could be interesting. But yeah, I'm going to take the Fins on the road. Hopefully they get less jet lag than the Jiggers. So the Green Bay Packers at the Chicago Bears, Sunday, first noon game. I'm going with Green Bay. Chris is also going with Green Bay. Cincinnati at Detroit. The Kitty versus Kitty game. I'm going to go with the Kitties. That is my Booger McFarland stat right there. I'm picking the Bengals. Chris is also picking the Bengals. The Bengals should have won last week, y'all. Kicking and missing field goals like that, inappropriate. Really inappropriate. Houston Texans at the Indianapolis Colts. I am going to go with the Colts. Chris is also going with the Colts. They went toe-to-toe for a hot minute with the Ravens, and the Ravens eventually pulled away, and what are you going to do about it? Los Angeles Rams at the New York Giants. I'm going to go with the Rams. The Giants don't have Saquon. The Giants don't have Daniel Jones for the moment. I'm actually recording this on a Wednesday night, so things could change before Sunday. And just, the Rams are actually looking pretty damn good. All right, Kansas City Chiefs at the football team. Wouldn't it be funny as shit if the football team beat the Chiefs? I don't think it's going to happen. I'm picking the Chiefs, and Chris is also picking the Chiefs. The Minnesota Vikings at the Carolina Panthers. I'm going to pick the Panthers, and Chris is picking the Vikings. Woo! The Baltimore Ravens at the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm going to pick... this is a tough one. This is actually a pretty good one. This is toss-up. If Chris was here, this is probably going to be the first toss-up. I'm going to pick the Ravens. Chris is picking the Chargers. Arizona Cardinals, first 3:05 game. Arizona Cardinals at the Cleveland Browns. Chris is picking Cleveland, and I was actually going to pick Cleveland too. So go Cleveland. Cleveland rocks. This one, hell of a lot different than it was the other day when I put my picks in for another group. Las Vegas Raiders at the Denver Broncos. Before I would have picked the Raiders, now I'm going to pick the Broncos. That's sad. That's very sad. That it went from them being favored to now they're not because they lost their coach. Don't be a shitty person, and you won't do shitty things to good people. Dallas Cowboys at the New England Patriots. I'm going to get the Cowboys to win this one, and so is Chris. This will be the first time, hopefully, the Cowboys will beat the New England Patriots in the 21st century. We have not beat them since Y2K. I was informed today. I was like, wow. The Seattle Seahawks at the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going with the Steelers. Chris is going with the Seahawks. How about that? And that was the Sunday night game. The Monday night game, Buffalo Bills at the Tennessee Titans. I'm actually going to go with the Bills. Chris is, of course, going with the Titans. So, just to recap, my picks, Tampa Bay, Miami, Green Bay, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Los Angeles Rams, Kansas City Chiefs, the Panthers, the Ravens, the Browns, the Broncos, the Cowboys, the Steelers, and the Bills. Locking in my picks. There we go. And, yeah, there we go. Looks like Chris and I had a few differences, so either Chris will catch up or I will be running away with it versus Chris. Michael, we're still tied. The second you beat me, I'll start doing the I am the captain now, and we'll go from there. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry Chris wasn't here again this week, but you know what? Like I said, you got personal stuff. You got to take care of the people around you. You got to take care of your supporting cast. So there you have it, guys. Thank y'all so much once again for dropping by. And always remember my little piglets, Colin Porkchop loves y'all the most. And as Chris would say, make good choices. And my response to that would have been, especially in the goddamn pick'em. Bye, guys. Happy birthday, Michael, you beautiful son of a bitch.